joined by the Political Science Club president, Luke Grebeck. All right, Luke, I have to say, I know you're over there in the pods. How's it looking so far?
So far, so good. Nothing much to report, still early on.
Really? Yeah, I see people are starting to trickle in for the watch party. It's going to be a very exciting night. So, I know you're the president of the Political Science Club, and I wanted to ask, what exactly do you guys do?
Well, we discuss politics. You know, the way the meetings work every week is we start off with a domestic topic and we then follow up with an international topic. We have our secretary puts together a big presentation about the topics. She researches them. She does an incredible job. And then after that, we have a group discussion, and that's the meetings.
Really? Okay. How many people do you say come in? Have you seen an uproar of how many people that want to join political science? Have you seen it kind of trickle down from past times?
You know, we've had a pretty consistent amount of people. You know, we get somewhere in the, teens, sort of range area of people coming every week.
Yeah. I also want to ask, what did you guys do to prepare for this election? You know, did you guys have a couple meetings talking about it, about their policies, having any things outdoors open to other students that are not a part of Political Science Club?
Yeah, so first off, I want to say our meetings are open to everybody. You don't have to do any kind of membership requirements. But yeah, for the build up to the election, we had multiple meetings about the election. When the primaries were still going on, we went through all of the primary candidates, going through their policies, their platforms, and how we thought they were going to stack up in the primary election itself. And then after that, when the nominations happened and we had the general election coming up, we had meetings going over both of the general election candidates, talking about their policies, polling, how they're stacking up against each other, and now we've got our watch party tonight.
Amazing. So would you say it's more of like a calm area where people can converse about their beliefs?
It's definitely a calm area. What we always try to do with the club is try to make sure that we can create a sort of safe place for people regardless of what their political opinions might be or their knowledge levels. You know, I have one friend he's not in the department. He knows a little bit about politics, but he's definitely, a little beginner experience level when it comes to it, but he comes to every meeting. He always enjoys it and gets a lot of knowledge out of it. And then we have plenty of people who are very knowledgeable about it, know all of the nooks and crannies of politics, and they get to come to and they get to, bounce their ideas off of people that know just as much as they do.
So it's a very open space.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I have to say also, social media has been a very big part in this race because it is how the majority of this generation gets their news. I wanted to talk to you about the activism on social media versus on the scene. So, people post things and they repost and put on their stories, be like, I support. Do you think that it really is activism, or would you say really being on the scene is where it's at?
I think being on the scene definitely gives you a bigger impact over politics, but I do think that social media activism has a place. And even if it might be on an individual level less impactful, I think that overall collectively it has a big impact. I think you saw that in the New York mayoral election with Zohran Mamdani. So much of his momentum came from his social media, and also his supporters' social media activism. I think that you saw other candidates try to replicate that. The Jersey City mayoral election, you have multiple candidates trying to do that. It's become a big trend across the board of people trying to replicate sort of Zohran Mamdani's social media influence. So even if I would say that in-person and on-the-ground activism probably does have more impact, social media activism is still very impactful and still something that, if you're interested, you should think about doing.
Yeah, I know. Many people have been looking at Mamdani's campaign since it's been all over social media. I know I saw him with Bodega Cats literally just this morning, and him being a bicyclist, he's doing a great job reaching out to our generation, especially in the fact that he's so young. Have you guys talked about his campaign in poli-sci?
The New York City mayoral election isn't something we covered quite as much, but it's something that we've discussed and it's come up in our open discussions with the club meetings.
So you guys just bring up an idea to the table and you guys start conversing about it.
Well, generally it starts off with a more structured, presentation, but then as time goes on, the discussion evolves. It can move off into sort of other areas.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Back to you guys at the News Lab.